Hello children, hope you all are doing well. Today I will be explaining a very short and simple poem from your Beehive textbook. Today we will be doing the poem Rain on the Roof. Now, the title of the poem only indicates that the poem is about rain. Rain elicits a range of emotions in us. Some may feel rains are messy. Some may even detest getting wet in the rain when it's pouring outside. Some may enjoy getting drenched in the rain. And some simply enjoys the rain sitting inside their comfortable homes and watching it fall. This beautiful poem, Rain on the Roof, is written by Coates Kinney. Now, before I start with the explanation of the poem, let me just give you a brief introduction about the poet Coates Kinney. Coates Kinney was an American poet. He was born on 24th November 1826 near Penn Yan, New York. During the 19th century, he was at various times a wistful and skillful poet. For a short time, he was a politician, filling the role of senator in the state of Ohio for 2 years. He was a lawyer in Cincinnati and worked as a journalist on several publications and newspapers. He also served the U.S. Army during the American Civil War as a commissioned officer. He even taught at various schools in Ohio. He wrote poetry, and his verses were collected in Cuca and Other Poems, which got published in 1855, and Lyrics of the Ideal and the Real on 1888. Of his verses, The Rain on the Roof, the poem that we will be doing today, which was set on music, was most popular. The poem helped him to establish his name as a popular poet. Coates Kinney died in Cincinnati on 25th January 1904 at the age of 77. Now, before I start or move on with the line-by-line explanation of the poem, let me just give you a brief summary or synopsis of what the poem is all about. The poem is about rain, and we all know that before it starts raining, the sky is always covered with dark, deep clouds, dark grey colored clouds. So, as the moisture-laden clouds, which are about to bring rain, moves in the starry sky, a deep sadness is felt by the sky, and it starts shedding tears which comes down as raindrops. The poet feels that as if the sky is dark and the rain which are falling from the sky, it seems to the poet as if the sky is shedding tears. The poet feels that it is a blessing for him as he can lie on his bed, pressing the pillow, and hear the soft patter of the rain. The raindrops falling on the rooftop tiles creates a musical effect, and he indulges himself in weaving innumerable fanciful imaginations, along with some memories that are associated with his past experience. He enjoys listening to the patter of the rain falling on the roof of his cottage. The poet imagines his mother's benevolent look and her love as she used to let him have sweet dreams in his sleep till dawn. He cherishes these memories as he listens to the patter of the rain. The poem thus describes the beauty of nature and the poet's love for natural things. Now we move on to the line-by-line explanation of the poem. So I'll just read the first stanza and then I will explain. I will start with explanation, line-by-line explanation. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So, when the humid shadows hover over the starry spheres. Humid shadow here refers to the dark grey moisture-laden clouds that are about to bring rain. And hover means to float over something. Starry spheres means sky studded with stars. So, the moisture-laden clouds has obscured the stars in the sky. And the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. The clouds, the dark grey clouds, have created darkness. Here, darkness is shown as if it is sad or melancholic. And the dark clouds are covering the sky. It created darkness. And darkness always brings about an idea of sadness. And then the rain starts, and the water droplets which falls as rain, it seems to the poet that darkness is weeping or crying. The dark sky seems to be very sad and appears as if it is crying. And those tears are coming down as rain. What a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed. Now, in such a dark, gloomy setting, only one thing which appears like a bliss, like a blessing or pleasure to the poet is that he can rest his head on the pillow and rest or lie in his cottage chamber bed. Cottage chamber means cottage bedroom. And lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So, when it's raining outside, he's lying in his bed and he hears the raindrops falling on the roof of his cottage, creating a unique sound which he's enjoying a lot. It is like a bliss for him. It is a blessing for him. Now we move on to stanza 2. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy beings start. And 1,000 recollections weave the air threads into woof as I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. The poet in this paragraph expresses his feelings when he hears the raindrops falling on the rooftop of his house. Every tinkle on the shingle, every tinkle means every drop of rain that is falling on the shingle. Shingle means the tiles. You can see the image of the tiles here. So these are called the shingles. So every drop of rain that is falling on the shingles is creating an echo in the poet's heart. And 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start. We know that whenever the poet hears the sound of the rain falling on the rooftop tiles, the sound repeats in his heart. And the same sound is now repeated in his dreams. He has thousands and thousands of different fanciful imaginations. And the sound of the rain creates new dreams in his minds. Fancies means imaginations, fanciful imaginations. And 1,000 recollections weave the air threads into woof. So, not only he is dreaming, he's creating. He's dreaming about new fanciful imaginations. But also he's recollecting the memories of his past. Recollections means remembering the memories of the past, which comes back into his mind as dreams, and it spins colorful shapes. As I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. So as he listens to the patter of the rain falling upon the roof, he has imaginations. He dreams about many fanciful things, and also he recollects the memories of his past, which comes back in form of dreams. And this all happens when he gets to hear the sound of the rain, which is falling, which is being created when it's falling on the rooftop of his chamber bedroom. Next, we move on to the third paragraph. Now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone, to regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I list to this refrain, which is played upon the shingle by the patter of the rain. In the third stanza, we find the poet introducing his mother. His mother, who's no more in this world. She has now become a memory for him. He says that now in memory comes my mother, as she used in years agone. The way her mother used to come to have a last survey of her sweet children before going to sleep. The memory of her mother doing this comes to his mind. He's dreaming of his mother surveying her children while they are sleeping. To regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. She used to love her children a lot, and she would let them sleep. Darling dreamers means her children. She used to let them sleep till daybreak, so that they can have enough sweet dreams. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I list to this refrain. The poet remembers more than anything is how his mother used to bend down and watch him sleeping. And now when he hears the sound of the rain, he feels that his mother is still looking at him. The sound makes him realize the repeated sound. Refrain means the repeated sound made by the rain, which are falling on made by the raindrops which are falling on the roof of his chamber, makes him remembers about his mother, which is played upon the shingle by the patter of the rain. So we see that the rain makes him correlate his past with his present. Whenever he hears the rhythmic sound of the rain, it brings back the memories of his past, of his mother, and also he dreams about new fanciful things. With this, we complete the poem. Now we will see some figures of speech that have been used in this poem. The first figure of speech used in the poem is onomatopoeia. Now we know that it is a sound word. It suggests sounds. Here we get two examples of such words, that is patter and tinkle. Both these words denotes the sound of the falling of the raindrops, the sound created by the raindrops. Next figure of speech is refrain. Refrain means a phrase or a word which is repeated at intervals throughout the poem, especially at the end of each paragraph. Here, patter of rain. These words are repeated in almost every paragraph. Next figure of speech used in the poem is alliteration. Now, alliteration is the repetition of initial consonant sounds in the same line. Here you see the example humid and hover. Here H, the word H, the letter H has been repeated in humid and hover. So it's a repetition of the initial consonant sound. Now we move on to metaphor. Now, metaphor is a literary device which compares two unlikely things. Here in this poem, we find two such examples of metaphors where the poet describes the humid shadows. Shadows means the clouds. So, the poet has compared shadows with clouds, which actually means clouds. And to survey her darling dreamers. Darling dreamers actually means children dreaming while they are asleep. Then we also find usage of personification. Personification is a figure of speech where we give human attributes to any inanimate object or animals or birds. So here, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears. In this line, we know that darkness is an abstract noun. It cannot act like human beings. But the poet says it weeps in rainy tears. So we are giving darkness a human attribute. That is, it sheds tears just like human beings. So these are the few figures of speech that we find in the poem. Now we move on to the theme, the central idea of the poem. Rain is always a source of happiness and pleasure, like I told you in the beginning. It has a certain healing power in it. Just before it started raining, there was darkness of moisture-laden clouds. But once it started raining, the musical sounds of the raindrops falling on the roof of the cottage revives sweet memories and rouses fancies in the busy mind of the poet. The rain thus has the ability to comfort a person by taking it back to its lovely past. With this, we complete the explanation of the poem. Thank you. Please, children, stay home and stay safe. Let us all join our hands to break this chain of corona. Thank you so much for watching this video.